Turn me up some. Whoa, whoa. Turn me up some.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Rant Show. Sorry for this Rant Show being late, first of all. I want to get that out of the way real quick. Unfortunately, I was having more issues with this OBS, which hopefully it should be fixed now, because it pretty much all I had to do, it seems to be working now anyways, because I just wound up completely uninstalling it and reinstalling it, and it seems to be working, so fingers crossed. For those of you who watch or actively watch my channel, I already had one video late for this past week because of OBS issues, and apparently OBS wasn't done fucking me over again. So hopefully I have it fixed now. That's the reason why this Rant Show is late, so I do apologize for that. But with that being said, let's get into what we're going to be talking about. What we're going to be talking about is the PS4, and more specifically, what Sony game is out there that could possibly rival the Halo franchise that Microsoft has, if they would actually continue with the game series. And that would be, in my humble opinion, Resistance. For those of you that do not know, Resistance is a game franchise that started back with the PS3. Pretty much soon after the PS3 first came out. It was like maybe 6 months after the PS3 first came out, the Resistance games came out. And yours truly was the person who loved them. I've beaten all three. I've loved every single minute of it. I did have some issues with the third one. I will say that now, like, the story could have been a little better. But I honestly think Sony needs to make a move to rival games that are exclusively for the Xbox, like Halo. And in my humble opinion, they haven't done that yet. They've had chances to do that with some games, but haven't yet. And I think they could do it if they continued with the Resistance franchise. Because personally, I loved it. Loved the story of the first one. Loved the gameplay of the first one. Loved the story of the second one. Not so much the gameplay, because they didn't have any couch co-op mode for that one, and that apparently pissed a lot of people off that they took that away. I loved almost everything about the third one, except the story, like I said already, could have been a little better. I won't go into exact details, or otherwise the episode will be like 45 minutes long. And I know some Sony fans out there will disagree with me on this. I know they will. Saying, oh, there's plenty of Sony exclusive games out there that could rival franchises exclusively for Xbox, like the Halo series. And in my opinion, as of the moment, no, not really. Because let's face it, there's still die-hard millions upon millions of Halo fans diehard fans out there. And I mean, just look at the hype on Twitter and E3 and anywhere else when a Halo exclusive comes out. And then look at all the exclusive games that Sony has come out through all the years. You don't see as great of a hype for a Sony exclusive game as you do, in my humble opinion, for the Halo franchise. And I seriously think Sony needs to get together with some game designers and really put their heads together to come up with a Sony exclusive game that rivals the Halo franchise. The only closest one that I can think of that could do that is the God of War series. But that's about it. But last time I remember, even with the God of War series, I was with my younger brother when Halo 3 came out. I was in, the midnight release line over at GameStop, and there was a line upon lines upon lines upon lines for the midnight release of that game. I don't ever remember a line for a midnight release of a God of War game ever being that long. So I'm sorry to say it, even though myself, I am a fan of the God of War franchise. I'm playing the newest God of War here on my channel. With that being said, even God of War, in my opinion, doesn't rival the Halo franchise. And I really think that Sony needs to, like I said, get some game designers designers together, do something to come out with a franchise that could do this, that could battle Xbox and Halo. And my humble opinion, if they refocused their sights on a certain game series, Resistance could do that. It could have done that if they didn't stop at 3, because they did kind of leave it open for a 4th one, but they never did anything, because even though it was a good game, Resistance 3 didn't get, the best of best reviews. At least that's what I got told why they didn't make a 4th. If someone knows the real reason why they haven't, let me know in the comments below, but that's what I got told. But I honestly think if they either did one of two things, they just straight out came out with a Resistance 4, or they remade or remastered the Resistance first 3, and then came out with a 4th, like remaster or rework or reboot the first 3 Resistance games, trying to like beef up the hype of a Resistance 4, and then come out with Resistance 4. I think they could, if it's, okay, let me say this. If it's done right, because let's face it, people and game companies have, hyped up games saying, oh, this is going to be great, this is going to be fantastic, and then the game sucks ass. That's happened a lot, let's face it, with a lot of games. So don't do that, but if you actually do it right and do it properly, I really do think Resistance could do this. Now, will this ever happen? Probably not. Will Sony ever come out with a game franchise that actually, a Sony exclusive game franchise that rivals Halo? The way it's looking right now, I hate to say it, even though I am a Sony fan through and through, I don't see it happening. Now, I'm not a fan of the Halo franchise either. I mainly only play them so that I have games to play with my younger brother, because he's a super fan of Halo games. But I don't see it happening. But I seriously think that if Sony and the makers behind the Resistance games ever got their shit together, that the Resistance franchise could do this. Unfortunately, will it ever happen with the Resistance games? Probably not. Because we haven't heard anything about Resistance since the 3rd game came out. And we haven't heard anything about any other bigly hyped Sony exclusive game that could do this since then. So even if the lowest person on the totem pole over at Sony sees this video, which I doubt that'll even happen, you guys need to do this. If you want to try and get a leg up on Xbox with the games that they have, you need to come out with a game franchise that rivals Halo. If you want an honest and true leg up on the Xbox, you need to do this. And whether it's a new game altogether, or what I think you should do is is either come out with a Resistance 4, or completely remaster or even reboot the first 3 games to build up a hype for a Resistance 4. Either or, just please do one of those. Because I personally, as a fan of the Resistance games, I think Resistance could do that if you do it right. Or if someone over at Sony thinks that they could come out with a completely new game that could do that, then fine, go ahead. I personally think Resistance could do that, like I said, if you do it right. But as it looks right now, it doesn't look like Sony's going to be able to do that. Because they haven't come out with a Sony exclusive game yet, or game franchise that could rival Halo, in my humble opinion. But yeah, that's actually all I wanted to talk about. This is kind of a short Rant Show, but that's it. That's literally what I wanted to talk about. I honestly think if Sony, even though I'm a Sony fan, like I said, through and through, if Sony wants to have an actual upper leg on Microsoft, they need to do this. They need to come out with a game that could rival one of Microsoft's, best-selling blockbuster games, Halo. They need a Sony exclusive game franchise that could do this. And whether they can think up of one on their own, fine. But in my humble opinion, the Resistance game franchise could have done this, and still can do this if they do it right. Now, I know I'll have some people out there disagree with me on this, because I know some people that weren't too much a fan of the Resistance franchise, but I personally think, and a few others that I've talked to think, that this could be done. So, like I said, and like I've said in past videos, when I've addressed certain video game companies, if anyone at Sony or any of the makers behind Resistance see this can be done if you do it right. Whether it's with the Resistance franchise or Sony, you coming out with a whole new Sony exclusive game franchise, you can do this. It'll be hard, but you can. You just need to come out with a good ass game. And I think, personally, to reiterate myself for like the 5th millionth time, it could be Resistance if you do it right. Because Resistance, in my opinion, was a good ass game. Just saying. But with that being said, I'm going to end it off here. Once again, guys, sorry for this Rant Show being late. Like I said, I was having OBS issues. Hopefully it's fixed now. Well, it's having OBS issues again. Hopefully it's fixed now. And I'll see you guys later, alright? As always, peace, love, and chicken grease. Oh, for real. I'll see all my Spark watchers later. Please remember, guys, to hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel and you like what you see. And also because YouTube, like I say always, continues to be stupid. Also hit that bell button and make sure to turn on all notifications so that way YouTube can hopefully let you know when I post a video. And I'll see you guys later. As always, and forever, peace.